Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by SRP here at the Blast from the Past Silverstone and the 1993 Grand Prix layout. I'm Austin Knight, and I'm joined by Sebastian Bosch and Williams with Mark Tranter, and this Blast from the Past broadcast is on Apex Racing TV, and it being a Blast from the Past and a historical thing, I think it's time we go a little bit special for this, right?
I think certainly so. Good evening, Austin. Good evening, everybody at home. We're coming to you a little bit delayed. We've had a few technical issues, but we are here and ready to get the final race of the season underway. Austin, I cannot wait for this one. I mean, what a great race we had 1 week ago. And Silverstone, the old Silverstone layout, never fails to deliver. I cannot wait for the first time that the cars come through Bridge Corner.
Yeah, we're going to be live in the 1993 layout. The list layout was last done in 1993, and we are going to have a fantastic time. And yeah, just like Blast from the Past, I've used my old-timey microphone, though I will stop that right now because it is hella annoying. Well, I was bet to do it, and I did it, so.
Well, so on the pole position, a familiar name at the top of the timing stands, Connor Wagner, the fastest man in qualifying. Alistair Hay second, Jerome Lamy in third, Sam Hermer fourth, Olsen in fifth. A really interesting top five, isn't it? Austin, you know, Wagner, Hay, Lamy, your top three, separated by less than half a second.
Yeah, less than half a second. It's going to be a lot of fun in this qualifying session. Wagner, Hay, Lamley, Hermer, Olsen. And also, you got to remember, there is a championship fight on store for us today. And it's going to be a lot of fun here for all of us.
Oh, it certainly will be, Austin. Just want to say, overlays are not working at the moment. We do really apologize, trying our best to try and get them sorted.
As it is for one last time in this season 5 red lights, and it is green, green, green here at historical Silverstone. Wagner gets a good start with Alistair Hay right behind as they all race down to Orkopp's corner side by side. They all start forming off their own little line. There's a big gap between the top 10 and everybody else. It looks like there might have been a little bit of an issue in the background, but it's Wagner leading out Hay through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel corners here at historical Silverstone, as it looks like Lato has got a little bit of a problem and is going slow through that section.
Yeah, good start from all involved. I think what happened is at the very start, many drivers were around Woodcote Corner, the final corner of this layout, and simply just had to get away slower to make sure they didn't end up facing the wrong direction.
Oh, there's a big incident.
That's Timu, isn't it?
Oh, Timu's had an issue, and we got a car in the air. We got a big crash.
That's going to be really dangerous. Cars flying all across the track. Oh, huge accident. There's 5, 10 cars involved. And more
thousands.
keep on coming.
Tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage right there. Cars in the pit lane. James Luis, Paulo Breme, Adam Tausma, Clark Williams, Andy Flynn, Tony Jimenez, Alejandro Lado, Aiden Aquino. Stephen Ritter is also involved right there. Massive issue. Richard Van Veen and Stu Millen as well. Massive crash. Oh my goodness.
Huge. I mean, drivers were warned before the start of the race. Let's not have any first lap incidents. iGPFun tends to pride itself on having a clean opening first lap, and that's not what we saw. Stowe Corner catching a lot of drivers out. Timu Milikangas, he's into the pit as well. Aberdeen and Petty, they are off the track, or were off the track, I should say.
They're taking advantage of cops.
You're right. Sorry, Austin.
Yeah, they took advantage of the cops. You can take that outside line pretty far away. And at turn 10 on this circuit, the track limits are non-existent. But there has been a driver's press release saying, if you do this, we'll catch on to you. It's kind of like what the situation was at Watkins Glen. So we're going to just completely ignore this. But also, I like this version of Silverstone a lot more because there is grass on the exit of that corner, and drivers who are used to Silverstone of this current Silverstone, they're going to try that, and there's grass there. What should be on the outside, at least I would say a 1 meter strip on the outside of track limits. That's how they prevent people from extending track limits. FIA instead of sausage groups. Put a meter of grass right there, we're fine.
Wow, welcome to Track Design with Austin. Currently on the screen at the moment, Alistair Hay started second, remains in second place. Wagner in the race lead with Lamy in third. The top three separated by a second with Tobias Olsen in fourth. He managed to get the jump on Sam Hermer on the opening lap. Olsen, he's about 1.4 seconds off the race lead. Hermer falling back 2.5 seconds as we see many drivers now exiting the pit lane. We're going to have a separate race, Austin, of all the drivers that came a cropper on the exit.
They're going to have to use, I would say they're going to have to use that secondary pit exit instead of the shorter pit exit, just to be a little bit safer, because this is going to look like a highway merge of a little bit of cars merging the highway at the same time. And this might get into a little tricky situation, but it looks like back there everybody has now sorted themselves out.
Oh, big accident in the background.
Oh, we spoke too soon.
That's the Nazo Cherry.
Oh, Cherry's had an issue. Yeah, that is exactly right.
Sorry, Austin, to cut across you once again. Lucas as well, I think, involved as well. Big accident as they headed through the second to last part of the Magnussen Beckett complex.
Oh,
that's
Cherry.
another.
Yeah, there's no front wing on there. We're going to go and give y'all a replay of this. Oh, Cherry, well, that is just too much mustard, too much speed, too much pizzazz heading into there. Gets into the back, and that is a 3-car incident. Leonardo Cherry, Scandinavian devil himself, charging into that corner, no holds barred style. And it looks like he was driving a completely different car. Like, I'm guessing that was at the back of the cars coming out of the pit lane, and he just didn't want to slow up for all of them, because that was a very high rate of collision right there.
It certainly was involved. Tony Jimenez has already been involved in one accident today, so he's going to have to come back into the pits and get the damage repaired, although I think it will be a little bit longer. That was a lot of damage sustained to the front end.
It was.
The number 11 car. McIntyre Jones in 7th place, under pressure from Evan Way. But look at this battle. Richard Van Veen, he's in 34th, trying to battle with Trott for 33rd. Oh, contact into Luffield.
Oh, no. They certainly didn't want that. This race has been very rough and tumble here today. Ben Goyette is down in 25th right now. He's up in 7 spots, and Ben is, I would say, he's been having a good day if you look at that photograph of this. Oh yeah, that's right, we don't have any graphics.
Benkietti in 25th position. Under pressure from Matt Brewer in 26th, Alan Lee in 27th. So a three-way battle with Gieti, the number 43, leading that train at the moment. They head into the very troublesome Stowe corner, unchanged from this layout towards the new layout. In fact, most of the circuit is relatively the same until you get to, well, around about this point of the track when you take the very quick Abbey chicane. Hopefully they've improved that or slowed that down. Zoltan Zamota on Rafael Wenza. Sorry, Rampiario. I do apologize.
Yeah, Simon Rampiario on the inside. Zomotor around to the outside. Zomotor now down towards the inside. But he's overshot that corner just a little bit, gets a little bit into the grass. Here comes Rampiario. Rampiario down towards the inside and gets ahead of Zomotor. Simon Rampiario holding off Zoltan Zomotor. And that's a very nice drive by the Norwegian. Very well defended. And that's brought Kuji Aito into the fight as well. And here's that replay of lap 1. You can see a lot of cars just getting upset underneath the brakes. And was that Tony Jimenez? Who shot across the grass onto the inside. It looked like he was going slow and he didn't know which line to take. And so he tried to go down towards the inside, but unfortunately there was a car right there that just had that Constantine effect of just everybody going everywhere where everybody already was. And big crash.
I don't think there's too many other descriptive terms that we could use for that first lap incident other than just big accident there. And I think
expensive, unfortunate. Wait till wins.
Sorry, Austin, I think drivers are going to are almost going to be lucky that, you know, this is the last race of the season, because I have to think, Austin, that there might be a few penalties handed out after that one.
It looks like nothing was intentional right there. That is the good thing about that, but it is a very unfortunate issue with how that started, because I feel like it was just 4 drivers had a mistake, and you know, when you have 4 drivers making a mistake around one another, it's kind of what happened in Bahrain 2020 with Romain Grosjean, where there's like a few mistakes up the road and then a few advantageous drivers trying to take advantage of that, and then that happened. So we all know these types of incidents, so penalties are going to happen, but it's glad this is a simulation.
Oh, it's certainly so. So you're currently right on board with Jerome Lamy. He's in 3rd place. Had a little bit of a look towards Alistair Hay on the entrance to Maggotts and Beckett's, but as we still, unfortunately, don't have our overlays working at the moment, let's give you a quick rundown of your grid order. So Conor Wagner, he leads from pole. He's that purple car in the front of this pack. He's in the lead. Alistair Hay remains where he qualified as well in 2nd. Jerome Lamy, we ride on board with him. He is in 3rd. Tobias Olsen in 4th. Sam Hermer in 5th place. Matti Hampai in 6th place. Will McIntyre Jones 7th. Evan Way in 8th place. See Will McIntyre Jones at the moment. Lee Aberdeen in 9th. Looking at Evan Way for 8th. Victor Barris in the top 10. Nicholas Westman in 11th place. Gavin Petty in 12th. Lucas Maruk, our championship winner. Austin in 13th place. There he is on your screen. And he has got Michael Coffrey right behind him in 14th. Philip Lucas 15th. Darren Rowlandson 16th. Christian Glamstetter in 17th place. Sarah Mullov-Tova in 18th. What's happened to Darren Rowlandson there?
Oh, he's just put a little bit too much mustard. I think he might have also dipped the wheel into the grass coming out of the final quarter and spun down towards the inside, giving a few spots, a few freebies to everybody behind them. Sarah Mullov-Tova, she is up in 17th place, the Apex Racing Academy Formula 4 Pro-Am champion, back in Formula 3s, and I believe getting ready to take part in the Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 series, as well as a few drivers as well, which sign-ups for that are open, and sign-ups for other Apex Racing League series are open as well. And speaking of Apex Racing Team, the Apex Racing Sim Center is having its grand opening party. Join us on September 25th. Get your tickets online and join us for fun on our public simulators, and there's going to be a fantastic barbecue out there, and I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of jealous that I am not the grill master, or I am not there, because the moment I saw that there was a barbecue, I immediately looked at flights towards the UK.
I cannot wait. Yeah, if you want to meet some of the commentators, I'm sure plenty of us will be there. Certainly one place that I would like to be. And gutted that, Austin, you won't be in charge of the barbecue. I've heard some legendary stories about your steak cooking skills.
And my legendary fires.
Well, we'll gloss over that for now. What's happened to Rafael Moenza just dropping down the order at the moment in 21st place, so dropping 5 positions. I think Moenza might have just
pack.
I think he's just gone off the track, I think, through the middle sector and sort of falling into the clutches. He's got Potapenko now right behind him, Imhoff, Gietti, Brewer, and that man on your screen, James C. Clark behind him. And that's a real issue, isn't it, around here, Austin? As soon as you lose the slipstream ahead of you, you're going to be losing a lot of time.
Oh! That was Steven Ritters at the back of this pack. Caught a little bit of the grass on the outside of Cobb's corner and went spearing into the wall.
Good catch there, Austin. This is Steven Ritters. So exiting Woodcote corner down towards Cobb's, or turn number one.
You just see there's a little strip of AstroTurf, and well, it was less than a dip and more of a full-on scoop right there. And that just shot the car out right and into the wall, and the inside wall much different than it is nowadays, but there used to be a giant there still is a grandstand there, but it's a little bit farther away, looking to make way for the infield arena section. Here we are at James C. Clark at Abbey, where the Hamilton Straight will be today. They're side by side. He's going to try to look down towards the inside setups on the outside move. Now Clark on viewer, and James Clark has cleared Matthew Rear right behind him. And also there's a fight between Alan Lee and Reed Dennis. Dennis tried to look around the outside, but it looks like that didn't work right there for Reed Dennis, but James Clark stays ahead. As let's look at our fight for the lead. Alistair Hay versus Connor Wagner. Here for the lead of this race. Let's ride on board.
So we know that Jerome Lamy and Wagner have had their set twos over the season. Who can forget their battle at Spa? But it seems today that it's Alistair Hay versus Connor Wagner. Alistair Hay finding a lot of pace in the last few laps or so. But Connor Wagner,
the track right here is very bumpy and bouncy. You can hear the cars bouncing off the ground. It's kind of like a porpoising effect in iRacing. So they go side by side, a wide setup by Alistair Hay, giving him the bigger speed, and in all that draft, the Delta Sport car ahead of him is just staying right there as Alistair Hay trying to set himself up and get clear of Connor Wagner, but the American pulling him off right now as we are closing in on lap number 10. It's a big slide by Alistair Hay.
So almost on lap 10, 1/3 of the race completed. A long way to go on these tyres. Both drivers now starting to slide around a little bit at this phase of the race. Wagner takes a very tight line through Woodcote corner, crosses the start-finish line to start lap number 10. In the background there, Olsen coming under pressure from Jerome Lamy, Sam Herber as well. Oh, Olsen, so wide. Caught the AstroTurf on the outside. Did very well to collect the slide before he ended up in the wall, but that's going to give a huge incentive to Jerome Lamy to try and make his way past up into 3rd place, Austin.
It really is, but that's going to allow Hay and Wagner to start pulling away, but Tobias Olsen, big slide and send. And here comes Jerome Lamy. Lamy is all up in that gearbox. Olsen goes down towards the inside to just fake a defense right there, but Olsen has put himself up for grabs as at the back of that group. It looks like Gavin Petty has had an issue and gone into the pit lane. We'll get a replay on that very shortly as we fly on board of Samuel Hermer as we head through that chicane now down the current start-finish straightaway and into Abbey. And up ahead, Wagner and Hay are side by side for the lead. That's Hay down low. Hay has got the lead on Connor Wagner.
Hay taking an orthodox method of getting past Wagner through bridge corner. I think caught Wagner a little bit unawares, and that's exactly what you need to do at a track like Silverstone, especially the more historic layout. You know, drivers will anticipate you making the moves into Copse and Stowe, but Bridge Corner, not really a corner that you can go side by side at, so Alistair Hay really seizing upon that opportunity. And let's see what our new race leader can do. Can Alistair Hay pull away from Wagner? Lee Aberdeen trying to pull ahead of Evan Way.
Yeah, Aberdeen's going to have to get ahead, but Evan Way just using all that track a little bit more there on the outside. Has got into the grass on the outside, AstroTurf, to stay ahead of himself as Lee Aberdeen is chasing out Evan Way. And also you got to talk about Nicholas Westman at the back of this little 3-car train. He's also joined by Victor Barris and Lucas Maruk, our champion for this season. Lucas Maruk secured the championship in round number 10 of the iGPFun Formula 3 series, which that was a wonderful race by Lucas, and he has had a wonderful season. And congratulations, Lucas Maruk, our Le Champion of the iGPFun Formula 3 series of 2022 Season 3.
What can you say about Lucas Maruk? It's just been so consistent this season. Got that win earlier on in the season and had to wait, quite a few rounds before he managed to get his second of the season. But in that time, managed to finish in really high orders, finish in good positions, got the points. Very rarely has been involved in any form of major drama out on the track. And in a championship that's so competitive, like iGPFun, that's crucial to gaining, to winning the championship, I should say. So Baruch has done, a superb job, thoroughly deserved. But of course, we're going to have another season of iGPFun racing very, very soon, where everything's going to be reset, and Lucas Baruch is going to be, well, like everybody, starting from scratch. So certainly one to continue to watch.
Yeah, like all series, when you go to a new season, everything gets reset to 0, and the only thing you have to go off is the result of the past series. Luckily, here at iGPFun, we can find all the results of all past series of the iRacing era of iGPFun over on our website. So if you go over to iGPFun on social media, you'll find a link to the website and a database of all the most useful data for iGPFun. You can see how many wins, how many races somebody has been in, if this is their first race, what teams they have been a part of, their average finish, incident points, anything. You can make a graph of that data. Is all underneath the sun for you right there, and it is a wonderful website and a wonderful tool over on iGPFun. As this is Aberdeen getting a lot of speed on Evan Way. He's tried the inside move at Bridge, but can he hold it around the outside? Way is still down towards the inside, but Lee Aberdeen round the outside and able to make that move. Aberdeen into 8th.
Lee Aberdeen having a superb return of form to the series. And now Evan Way very much firmly behind him, but that gap between Aberdeen and McIntyre Jones at 1.7 seconds, so Aberdeen's going to be vulnerable on those long straights. Further down the order, Getty getting past Clark. He is now up into 23rd place, but it remains Alistair Hay in the lead, Connor Wagner second, Olsen third, Jerome Lamy fourth, Hermer in 5th place, with the rest of the pack some 4 seconds off Alistair Hay's lead. So those top 5 really pushing each other at the moment. Austin Wagner making the move on Alistair Hay.
Yeah, Wagner definitely getting that move in there, and Wagner in the 25, well, is not in the podium scenarios. It's something that just happened, but everybody seems to be doing good. Podium scenarios, the fight for second place is very interesting. We got 3 cars fighting for second. Will McIntyre Jones, Robert Ridgway, and Tony Jimenez. Will McIntyre Jones will finish second place if he finishes 19th or better. He's currently sitting in 7th, so he's currently sitting. Oh, we got an issue behind Jerome Lamley. He spins around.
Oh, disaster for Jerome Lamy. He's been also consistent and also rapid throughout the season, and it's all come undone for him today at Silverstone. So he comes through the Copse corner. Also up ahead, Tobias Olsen gets a little bit wide. So Lamy half sends it to the inside of Brooklyn's corner. Can't find a way through.
That was a reactionary issue right there. He was trying to send it on Olsen. Olsen turned in, and Langley, while turning in, tapped the brakes and he spun around. And that really is not helping him right there. And Jerome, very unfortunate issue. But yeah, Will McIntyre Jones is currently sitting in the second place with him sitting in sixth place. The other drivers in there is Robert Ridgway. He must finish in the top 12 and requires McIntyre Jones to have a failure, as well as Tony Jimenez. They must finish in the top 7 to have a chance for second, and requires McIntyre Jones to falter. He can finish third if 6 or more positions ahead of Robert Ridgway. And Robert Ridgway is currently out of the fight for second, and Tony Jimenez, they're involved in that lap 1 issue. So if McIntyre Jones finishes this race in this position, McIntyre Jones will be second place.
I mean, absolutely stunning season for McIntyre Jones as well. He's certainly firmly on his way to that second place in the overall championship. Meanwhile, Lucas Brooks trying to get past Victor Barris. Barris trying to get past Evan Way for good measure, and then you've got this sort of gaggle of cars. Jerome Lamy firmly in the mix. Aberdeen now into 7th place after Jerome Lamy made that mistake. Lucas Brooks sits in 12th place. And that train really starts at McIntyre Jones, and it all sort of, it really goes from, McIntyre Jones in 6th place all the way down to Michael Coffrey in 13th. So lots of drivers separated by a very small
that's a tight window. Whoa, tight window right there. It looked like Victor Barris had a nose onto the inside of Magus and Beckes at the very start of that, and he almost got his nose chopped and closed in as Evan Way was just closing in, and that has allowed Lucas Maruk, our champion, looking down. So he's just playing it safe. He's not going to go for that move, but he was certainly challenging that fight. And speaking of fights, there's a big scrap up ahead at Abbey Corner as they go around that long right-hander, heading up towards Abbey on the current front straightaway.
They certainly are. Lee Aberdeen in 7th place. That 999 car in the middle of the pack, with McIntyre Jones ahead of him. Jerome Lamy trying to retake those positions that he lost after that spin into Brooklands corner. But Lee Aberdeen is on a format at the moment, and I think it just seems at the moment, Austin, from the way that, you know, Lamy who's driving, I think he's a little bit frustrated behind the wheel, and those tyres will be extra hot after that spin. So I think Lamy's got to wait a few laps before we'll start to see him making up those moves.
Yeah, he's got to wait a little bit, but they're certainly going to try it. Almost that Cobb's corner. They nearly went side by side, but they are certainly pressuring each other to use all the track as we are halfway through this race here at Silverstone.
Halfway through the final race of the season, and what an absolutely incredible season it has been. iGPFun.
James Clark is getting past Goyette. Goyette looks like they've had an issue coming out of the final corner. And Tobias Olsen up front has had an issue on our timing screens. Tobias Olsen is off the track and falling rapidly.
Tobias Olsen, has he gone a little bit wide through turn 1? No, it's Stowe corner that Tobias Olsen has fallen foul off, so he enters.
Oh, he's just caught the grass on the entry. Jinx. Oh.
And he's hit the wall as well. That's Tobias Olsen's race done and dusted. You know, Austin, to me, did that look like if he'd just held his brakes, he would have stayed out of the barrier there?
Yeah. I feel like he's done exactly what we've all done. We've hit the mistake. Oh, speaking of mistake, there's Lamy again! In the same corner that he's having issue. Jerome Lamy is in the runoff area, as well as Lee Aberdeen. 2-car incident. Aberdeen is around. I thought he was beached right there, but he gets back on track right behind his Sarah Molfatova. But Lee Aberdeen spinning around just as Jerome Lamy goes off the track as well. Alistair Hayes off the track. The top 4 have collapsed and Alistair Hayes out of the race.
So Wagner in the lead. He's got a 2.7 second gap to Sam Hermer. And Mattia in 3rd, the number 90 finish driver. McIntyre Jones 4th, Westman 5th. Evan Way 6th, Victor Barris, who you see on the screen at the moment, in 7th, Lucas Farouk, the championship winner, in 8th place, Coffrey 9th, and Jerome Lamy in 10th. What though,
Watch how
Austin,
much
is
grass.
happening to Jerome Lamy?
What has happened to Alistair? Hey, I can tell you what has happened. He's put too much mustard in. He was already sliding, caught up into the grass and into the wall. Alistair Hay was fighting for second. Well, he's going to be fighting that repair bill right now as he is out of this race. Victor Barris knows his tail with Evan Way, the fight for 6th place.
Oh, getting very squirrely at the moment. I think Ty's starting to really grade at this phase of the race. Lap 17 of 30 here today.
Comes Victor, this is going to be his best chance. The DriveX Esports driver looking down towards the inside. They're setting up side by side through bridge corner. They're still side by side. Victor Barris trying to use all the track around the outside to get the better run. They tap a little bit. They're still picking wheels. Victor Barris, though, carries the speed around the outside of 2 corners. But he can't do it for the third. Evan Way stands ahead of Victor Barris. Great fight between the 92 and the 269.
Racing once again. I just love this layout, Austin. This layout just encourages drivers to go side by side. Matthew Gracie getting past, being passed, I should say, by Leonard O'Cherry. Richard Van Veen getting in on the action as well. Almost three abreast as they head down towards Stowe Corner. Look at the slipstream though.
3-1, let's go. And Richard Van Veen in the background backs off. A big send by Matthew Gracie back into that car, swirling around just a little bit like a dog at a barbecue. And that allows Leonardo O'Cherry to stay ahead. O'Cherry was involved in that opening lap incident, but they did not tow into the pit lane. But Matthew Gracie falling off as O'Cherry starts to fly away. Here comes Richard Van Veen. Van Veen pressuring down towards the inside at Abbey. They're side by side heading into bridge corner. Van Veen on the outside, Gracie on towards the inside, still side by side. Big send around the outside by Richard Van Veen, and Van Veen down towards the inside. Van Veen up into 29th.
What's happened to Lucas Baruch? He's falling down the order. So is Michael Coffrey.
There's been a massive issue. 2 cars spun around. Lucas Baruch, our champion for the season. Whatever happens, he is that champion. This is down at heading up towards Abbey, and just Baruch caught a little bit of the curb. Oh my gosh.
Well,
it looks like Coffrey's had the issue and was just trying to rejoin the track, and he just didn't adjust the speed to Lucas Baruch, and that sent Baruch down into 20th place.
Yeah, I think Coffrey's going to have to take most of the blame, but that incident looked a little bit rookie, I have to say, from Coffrey, at least from that perspective that we saw. That's really put Lucas Baruch down the order. He's currently in 22nd place, some 54 seconds off the overall race lead. Tell you who's doing an absolutely great job at the moment. It's Matty Hanpar in 3rd place. He's made 3 positions since the start of the race, just sort of lapping away, not gotten involved, Austin, in any of the incidents that we've seen. He's currently 5 seconds off the race lead, but a really strong race from the Finnish driver so far. Yeah,
Matty is having a great job up there in 3rd place. Hanpar, you usually do not see much of him, but Matty is doing an amazing job. He would have been better if he was joined by Timu right there, but Timu is involved in another incident and he is out of the race. But Matty is doing the Finns very proud up there in 3rd.
Potapenko and Imhoff scrapping over 16th place. Imhoff currently taking the honours of that 16th place. Potapenko, though, trying to retake the position through Abbey Corner. Victor Barris and Evan Way scrapping out for 6th place. Victor Barris making the move stick, so the Spanish driver up now almost into the top 5. Potapenko, he's had a really up and down season, hasn't he, Austin? You know, he came midway through the season, started off with a bang, had some really great races, and the last few haven't necessarily gone his way, but I think he'll be fairly happy. You know, P17 at the moment, up 21 spots. I think Potapenko must be pretty happy with his Silverstone race performance so far.
Yeah, Potapenko joining midway through the season because he is racing from Kyiv right now, and there is still all that going on over there in Ukraine, and he's racing out there, and he is, you know, all of our hearts go out towards everybody in Ukraine, and see him still race is very, very cool.
Oh, certainly agree. Really Yeah, I mean, Potapenko, he's got so many difficulties going on within his life, and just to be able to come and race and to put on some really great performances as well. Yeah, truly take my hat off to him. 17th place as well. He's got a little bit of a gap, I should say, from Gietti in 18th place. So Potapenko's really got a lot of opportunity and a lot of ability just to start sending a little bit of a dummy towards Imhoff, just starting to pressurize Imhoff over that 16th place. Potapenko is afforded a little bit of time at this point. Gietti, in fact, for good measure, under pressure from Alan Lee. So really interesting battles up and down the order. Although after that, after we had sort of that crazy few laps a while ago, Austin, the battle for the lead is kind of disappeared into nothing. Wagner 3.3 seconds ahead of Sam Hermer in second place.
New fastest lap by Victor Barris down in 6th place, just ahead of these two. But Philip Lucas under pressure by Christian Glamsetter in the fight for 10th place. And if they continue this fight, that is Sarah Molfatova. She might make this a 3-car fight for 10th or even 9th.
Molotova, you're right, spent most of the season in the Dallara IRO 4 car, iRacing's interpretation on the Formula 4 car. Very different machinery, as many of these drivers will attest to. And she's having a great return into Formula 3. You're right, getting ready for, of course, the next season of the ARA Formula 3 series. Silence for that are open, and it will be broadcast from the Apex Racing TV studio. Cannot wait to tune into that one. It's going to be absolutely superb to watch, I am sure. Philip Lucas, I think, will be equally happy to watch this broadcast back, having a stonking race, up 7 places, holding Glamsetter behind him at this phase of the race. 9 laps to go. What can Philip Lucas do? Lamy starting now to sort of drive away from him. So Lucas very much now, all he has to do, Austin, is focus on his mirrors and focus on keeping that 9th place.
Yeah, he's got to focus on keeping himself ahead of Christian Glamsetter. Christian's going to be having the straightaways to just pull away. Not as many straightaways on this layout as there is in the current iteration of the Silverstone circuit, but they still have that long back straightaway here that will be giving them the advantage, and Philip Lucas is going to be putting some pressure to stay ahead of Christian Glamsetter. Christian Glamsetter just wants to keep applying pressure, but look at Molotova. She is closing in on these two. Last lap was 7/10 faster for the Lead Paul Racing driver.
He is now firmly within that 1 second margin, although I was informed after the last race that the slipstream actually starts around 0.6 of a second in these cars. It tends to be the rule of thumb in racing that once you're sort of within a second, you gain the benefit of the slipstream. But these Formula 3 cars, more about 0.6 of a second. Although I tell you what, Austin, imagine if these Formula 3 cars did have DRS, the crazy racings that we would have. I think it would be
it would get chaotic if the Formula 3 category had DRS. But around some of the new tracks coming to iRacing, I would say I think DRS would be time in a few of these cars. But 2 new tracks heading into iRacing, 1 free Rootskardigan. The Norwegian sim race is going to be very happy about that. And then Osterbahn is heading into there, which, it is infamous amongst racers. But luckily, iRacing has made the infamous layout the secondary layout, and the Moto layout the right layout. So we don't have to repeat the same thing, as this is a dive by Potapenko down towards the inside. As the back end is whistling and wagging around as going behind him, and gets past Ido as Ido is stuck onto the outside, and I think Ido was kind of caught back by that send by Potapenko for 16th.
I'm not quite sure where Atoa has come from, because it was I think Atoa's made a mistake. Imhoff has gotten past him. Potapenko as well tried to get past, and they had a little bit of a coming together on the exit of Bridge Corner. Atoa just heading off the track into the gravel, and Gietti very much seizing upon that opportunity. To Ben Gietti at the moment. Next up for him is Potapenko. What can the Canadian driver do? Gietti up 15 places from where he started. Austin, one of our biggest gainers of the race, but you know, we have, as we always do in iGPFun, have many drivers that manage to make up many places. I think some drivers are at 15, 20, even 25 places, which is fairly incredible if you think about it. Rafael Muenza, he's off the track as well. I think Rafael's race is going from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's going downhill and it's not going up. Lucas Baruch, he doesn't have to worry if it goes uphill or downhill, but he certainly wants to finish the season on the high. He's already the champion. And as he secured that 2 seasons ago, that is Lucas Baruch going down towards the inside and, well, really going down towards the inside of the car that he was behind. I believe that was the lap car, just letting all the space out. No, it was for position. That was Keeler and Richie Robertson that he made the overtake on.
Yeah, very unusual to see Lucas Baruch so far down the order, but of course that contact
incident.
He was with the contact with Coffrey. So Baruch now trying to make his way through. He'll be very glad, in fact, that the championship is done and dusted, because I think he'd be a little bit worried if the championship was still very much up for grabs at this phase of the race.
He would be furious, and I would be too. You don't want to have an incident decide a championship.
Or a safety car. Luedo at the moment in 29th place, with Andy Flynn in 30th place. Andy Flynn caught up in that first lap incident, so was Luedo. And Andy Flynn very much making his way up through the order.
We're okay up here. We're okay. Thank you, Mark. Lato leading out. Andy Flint right now sitting at 29th place. Lato is doing a all right job, all right return to the series, but he was involved in that opening incident. It's down a few spots. Let's look ahead at Christian Glamcenter sitting in 10th place as they chase down Lucas and staying ahead of Sarah Molfatova. They're closing in on a car up ahead. Is that Way? Or that is a slow car. Okay, so that is not for position. That is a lap car. It's staying down towards the inside of the track. And thankfully it was on straight, so they aren't going to be held up right there. But Sarah Molfatova, she's going to be held up heading into that corner. And this fight for 10th place is separated just by 0.3 between them.
Evan Way, what a race he's had. He's really been up and down the order, but still in 8th place. Jordan Lamy as well. Almost feels like he's been in every position in the top 10. Molotova, I mean, she always seems to come alive at the end of the races, doesn't she, Molotova? She sort of starts off slow, really builds, allows the tyres to come in naturally, doesn't push them too much, and that just gives us so much extra pace at the end of the race. Benguetti in 17th place, still unable to get past Potapenko. I think James Clark has had some form of issue on track, another driver to fall foul of the historic Silverstone layout today. Benguetti, what can he do, I wonder? What can this man, Lucas Baruch, do? He's got Matt Brewer, I should say, up ahead of him. Can't really find a way through this sort of Abbey chicane, the old chicane, the very quick layout. I think if Baruch wants to get this position on Brewer, it's either going to have to be down into Bridge, corner Austin, or just wait until turn number 1.
And at turn number 1, here comes Lucas Baruch going around towards the outside. He's got the speed, and there we go. Around the outside, swinging around there, and doing an absolute fantastic job of doing it as well. Up ahead, Philip Lucas still defending from Glamcenter. He's defending on towards the inside. Glamcenter trying to hold it around towards the outside. A little bit of cutback. He's definitely got the speed right now. It's a lot wider of a corner. It's not as sudden as it is today. And that is going to be slowing up just a little bit more. And here comes Sarah Molfatova. She wants to get into the fight as well.
And this is really Molotova's bread and butter. They've got two drivers battling up ahead. They're distracted by each other. You see Glamcenter really pulling out of the way of Philip Lucas, just to sort of say, I'm here very wide, for Glamcenter catching a lot of oversteer. And this is where Molotova could really pick up the places. All she really needs to do is seize upon any opportunities provided to her. Nicholas Westman under pressure from Victor Barris. Barris hoping to make it, Austin, into the top 5.
Oh, and he's got into the grass. Nicholas Westman into the grass. Here comes Victor Barris. This is what Barris needs. They're alongside. They're going to have that inside line heading into Magus Pegs, but they get onto the brakes earlier, and that's allowed Westman to stay ahead of Victor Barris. But, oh, no, they've gone wide. Here goes Barris down towards the inside. And here comes Jerome Lamy as well.
Jerome Lamy really needs to make these places up. He needs as many points as physically possible. Westman is going to have to go all the way around Stowe corner as possible, Austin, but very tricky.
Oh, watch out. Wow, that's a very tight line that Westman was giving Lamy. Lamy had to back off right there and hold that inside line, or else there was going to be contact between them. And Jerome just backing away. Nicholas Westman, though, that mistake has allowed Victor Barris to pull away as they had that issue in Chapel. It looked like the car just got away from them, and they had to back off the draw, but they certainly got back into there and put pressure on Lamy to make that mistake as they fly through bridge.
Almost running into the back of Nicholas Westman there, heading into Priory corner now. Through Brooklands into Luffield corner, lap 28. Yeah, we're almost getting to the end of this race. Austin feels like it's flown by so quickly. You're right, Lamy's really setting up Westman. Can he make the move into Cops corner?
Yeah, he's got the speed. He's got the line. He's going down towards the inside. At Cops, side by side. At Cops, Jerome Lamy and Westman are going to go for it. Jerome Lamy makes that move at Cops corner for position number 6 with just 3 laps to go, starting lap 28. Beautiful move by number 16, Jerome Lamy. Wow, what a move on Nicholas Westman.
Superb move. Don't tend to see many successful overtakes heading into Cops corner, but Jerome Lamy really doing his homework there. What can Westman do? Can he fight back? Does he want the place, or is he a little bit happy just to stick with 7th place?
I don't think anybody would be happy just to be sitting in their position without charging. These are racing drivers, and they want to race and stay ahead of each other. As we go back to our fight for 9th place, our 3-car fight for 9th place, Christian Glamsetter, Philip Lucas, and Sarah Molfatova. Right at the back of this group, you see Christian Glamsetter struggling for grip. Car gets a little bit away from them. He gets a little bit loose. Here comes Philip Lucas. Lucas all over the gearbox right now. Here comes Lucas heading into the bridge corner as they fly through Abbey, looking down towards the inside. They back off just to stay behind Christian Glamsetter, but they could have gone for the move right there. But with just 2 laps to go with these drivers, when they come across this line, they certainly won it. That's a big off the brakes moment. And there is Glamsetter. There's a spin in front of Sarah Molfatova. There goes Philip Lucas. Glamsetter had an issue as well mid-quarter. Sarah Molfatova is gone pretty much well. There's an incident up ahead. That's Jerome Lamy as well. Sarah Molfatova is in 9th place.
It wasn't iRacing, I had to say that the heavens had opened above the Silverstone circuit in very classic British fashion. Everybody, I think, struggling with their tyre wear. Jerome Lamy, this is what happened to him. Luffield corner, doesn't clip the curb on the apex, going to run a little bit wide. Yes, he does. Spins the rear tyres. Thankful that that's not a barrier.
Yeah, very painful that it's not a barrier, but everything went right for Sarah Molfatova. She's gained up 2 spots right there. Everybody spun in front of her. And now Sarah Molfatova, she is looking for 8th place. She's looking down towards the inside, chasing out Christian Glamsetter. Christian Glamsetter has been struggling on the tires right now. She had the window open, but she was not going to send that move because she saw Christian Glamsetter struggling with the tires. She just needs to apply that pressure with 2 laps to go and then make the move when the time is right. This is where Glamsetter had that first bit. There's another bit of oversteer by Christian Glamsetter. He's really struggling with those tires.
It just seems that Glamsetter simply run out of tyre wear, run out of tyre life, and it's all about surviving. But look at that right behind the Aberdeen getting involved. White flag, 1 to go, Austin.
White flag for Connor Wagner for right now. This is where it happened last time. Aberdeen gets in the back of Molfatova, and they spun and crashed into each other. Zoltan Somotor and Lee Aberdeen. Lee Aberdeen, very ambitious move, hit the back of Sarah Molfatova, and that's a big crash in the background. But Sarah Molfatova, she is surviving And carry on, 1 lap to go in the battle for 8th place. Sarah Molotova and Christian Glamsetter.
Molotova really needs to get this move done, although I think she's had a whole dose of luck. I don't think she'll be too upset with 9th place after the final 2 laps of racing. Astonishing that she's even pointing in the right direction and not through any of her own fault. Just incidents happening in front and behind of her. Lee Aberdeen into the pit, so he'll lose a whole chunk of time and positions.
Both Christian Glamsetter and Sarah Molotova are up 14 spots. Sarah Molotova, she's in the trash. She's looking down towards the inside. Here comes Molotova for 8th place. Sends it down towards the inside. Glamsetter holding around towards the outside. They're side by side. And Glamsetter able to defend it round towards the outside. But is Christian Glamsetter's tires? This is the corner that Christian Glamsetter has been struggling on. As Connor Wagner, he's got 1 corner to go. And it is Connor Wagner taking the final win of the iGPFun Formula 3 Series presented by Sim Racing Pro at Silverstone. Historic Connor Wagner wins. And here comes Sarah Molotova on Christian Glamsetter. Glamsetter defending down inside. Molotova, she went very wide on the entry, almost got crossed over by Christian Glamsetter. Glamsetter defending onto the inside. Molotova, she's looking for that around the outside. She's looking for to keep all the speed right there. Connor, as Christian Glamsetter just holding around to the outside. Molotova had a little bit of wheel spin right there, and that is going to be Glamsetter sitting in 8th place. And Sarah Molotova, she's going to finish in 9th place.
Graham Lamy will have to come home in 10th. Motor 11th, Philip Lucas 12th. And look at this battle, Punzengruber and Aberdeen.
Punzengruber on Aberdeen. Aberdeen up and down day. Can Punzengruber capitalize on this? Aberdeen goes out wide. Oh, big amount of wheel spin for Punzengruber as he just backs off right there. Didn't want to force an issue. Gets an Imhoff up 29 spots, finishing in 14th.
Our highest gainer of the day. Alan Lee, though, 1 place behind him. 28 places gained by the American driver. And Lucas Muruk finishes a lap down. Austin, could you ever imagine Lucas Muruk after all of the highs of this season, the final race, finishing a lap down? Thankfully for him, it won't matter. He is already the championship winner.
He is our Le Champion. So Lucas Muruk, not the day that he wanted to crown himself the champion, but he is the champion. He's going to be finishing this season with his head held high, and some lovely stuff from Sim Racing Pro. And maybe a big bottle of champagne. Oh, he's got to finish in the pit lane. Not every day you see a driver finish in the pit lane, because he was the last driver to come across the line. And there he goes, comes across the line. And that is all of our drivers across the line. And here is our full race results for today. Connor Wagner takes the win ahead of Samuel Hermer. Matty Handbaugh takes 3rd place ahead of Will McIntyre Jones. They're followed by Victor Barris, Nicholas Westman, Evan Way, Christian Glamser, Sarah Molotova, Jerome Lamley, Zoltan Zolmutter, Philip Lucas, Simon Rampario, and Geetan Imhoff, followed by Ben Goya, Alan Lee, Potapenko, Kuchi Ido, and Lee Aberdeen in 9th place. Clemens Punzengruber had a good race as well, followed by Robert Ridgway, Rafael Munzer, Matt Viewer, Leonardo Ocheria, Lucas Maruk. Alejandro Ledo finishes down in 26th place, followed by Andy Flint, Matthew Gracie, Claire and Richie Robson, Palolo Breme, Reed Dennis, Richard Van Veen, Tony Jimenez, Patrick Rollins, James C. Clark, Adam Towson, and Michael M. Coffrey. Alistair Hay, Tobias Olsen, James Luis, Dagan and Errol. Martin Devine making his return, but not in the way that he wanted to. Back in the iGPFun series, down in 42nd, followed by Gavin Petty, Chris Trott, Nick Carty, Stephen Ritters, Darren Rollinson. Timu certainly wasn't Timu time here today, followed by Stu Millen, Aiden Aquino, and Clark Williams, as well as Joris Blum at the end of our grid here today. 52 cars showed up, but on top of them, it is Connor Wagner and the Delta Sport U4K team.
Yeah, Connor Wagner really making, hay in the iGPFun series. His first race was all the way back at Alton Park, and since then he's just delivered even more, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and that was a fantastic race that he had. He was put under pressure when fighting for the lead of this race, but he basically, when he got the lead of this race, he put the pressure on the cars behind, and after that incident behind him, there was just no looking back, as there's a Polish victory lap going on out there on track. Who is that?
I think that might be Jerome Lamy that is just deciding to take to the opposite way. Almost colliding.
Almost
very much end of
course right there.
Yeah, it feels very much like end of term at the moment. Everybody just sort of almost destroying their Formula 3 machinery. Won't be needing those for a few weeks or so.
Yeah, they certainly won't be needing them for a little bit, as a new season brings on a new Wonder of Challenge for the iGPFun Formula 3 series. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Apex Racing TV throughout the entire season for the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by SRP Sim Racing Pro, makers of some of the best sim racing equipment out there. Get what you need over at simracing-pro.com. As well, iGPFun is always presented by Virtual Racing School. Thank you, Virtual Racing School, for putting out all the track guides and the setups that these drivers use and use to their advantage as well, to get all they can and put on this amazing show out there on track. We'll see you after a week 13 iGPFun event might I believe is a go, so we're going to be excited to see what they do as well. But season 4 of 2022 is just around the corner. Thank you everybody for joining us this season, and this is my least favorite time, because I know that it's not going to be back for the for next week as a regular season. But thank you everybody for the season. As always, I've been joined by Sebastian Bosher-Williams and Mark Tranter in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.